Good Thursday, everybody. Meteorologist Casey Cloud here in the Weather Center taking a look at that current temperature map across our region. You do see those numbers right now toward the upper 40s in some spots. I know where I'm at down to 49 east of Stark, and you see a few other numbers pretty similar to that. The story, I know if you were just looking at the stream before I came on, we had that freeze watch graphic here on the screen. I was kind of telling you guys about the threat for later tomorrow night, early Saturday morning, and we'll get into that here more in a minute. But you do see some different readings here. I know Tallahassee, last check, at least a little bit warmer, but cooler air here, even than what we're seeing now underway. A little bit of shower enhancement here tomorrow, but overall, not expecting anything too significant. Maybe some lingering moisture trying to hang around for early Saturday morning, which could make things a little interesting. But right now, that chance does not seem to be very high, so that's the news there. But let's go ahead and go over right now to that freeze watch area that I had on up because I want to break this down for you guys. This is for tomorrow night. Now, the bigger threat really is for a Saturday night when we have the hard freeze concern, and we're going to have hard freeze alerts in play, and some wind chill alerts could also be coming here into play depending on exactly where you're at. But we do have the potential for some sub-freezing temperatures as low as 30 degrees possible Friday night through Saturday morning here for portions of southeast Georgia, northeast Florida, and the Swanee Valley. This goes there because of the sub-freezing temperatures, maybe like around 30 degrees here in some spots. Frost freeze conditions could go crops, though already have seen some of that, and some sensitive vegetation concerns will be in play here as well because of those cooler temperatures. But again, Saturday night, early Sunday morning, that's the big air temperature event. Now, wind chill factor is really going to be falling tomorrow night, though, and that's something we have to be aware of here for sure as we continue to check the latest information from the National Weather Service in Jacksonville, Tallahassee, and Tampa here with our chat session. Not seeing anything new at this point. I do see the river flood warning update coming into play up into towards southeastern Georgia, but again, not seeing anything too noteworthy here at the moment. But let's go ahead and give you guys a look outside. Let's start off with the baseball grounds camera in Jacksonville here today. We'll go out to that one right now. You'll get an idea of what's going on here. I know still trying to figure out who the head coach of the Jacksonville Jaguars is going to be as of last check. But you can see here pretty cloudy conditions in toward this area in the River City at the moment now. As we see those clouds break here, especially for Saturday night and Sunday, we're really going to see those temperatures plummet on down here. The winds, I know, will really be a factor tomorrow night. Saturday night is going to, again, be more about those actual air temperatures. So, got to be kind of cognizant of that as you're looking around the region here. We'll go out now toward the FSU weather stem camera in Tallahassee. Give you guys a look out there right now in the Big Bend. I know FSU basketball couldn't come up with the win last night in Atlanta, but they're going to be coming back home here for a Saturday game against Virginia Tech, and I'll break down that forecast for you in a few minutes. But early heads up there in that you'll want to bundle up if you're headed out there, unless you're right at the door of the arena. Then you may not have to as much, but otherwise you're really going to have to just be bundled up there for that day because it's going to be one of the chilliest days that you'll really see here in Florida. As we go ahead now and go on over toward a camera in between these two, kind of will take you out toward the nature coast there around Cedar Key. I don't think too many people want to go out to the beach this weekend. Unfortunately, a lot of these nastier type weather scenarios have been evolving toward the weekend here. Hopefully, we can get rid of that pattern here because I know people really would like to see that weekend just nice here, not having to deal with weather concerns. But unfortunately, that's been the case here for a while. I mean, going back I'm thinking about the beginning of the year here with that threat of severe storms on that Sunday even. So just something to deal with here for sure. The weather's being a nuisance, but let's go ahead and go away from these different camera angles for now. We'll take you back on over again. There's your freeze watch. That's for tomorrow night, Friday night. But then Saturday night, that's when we're going to have the core weather in play. And then that's what we really, again, have that hard freeze concern coming into play here, folks. You really got to be careful in this situation as we go ahead and pop on up the graphics now. Go ahead and switch over to our other system if we can. Let me go ahead and pop that on up. It looks like it's not taking the graphics here at the moment. Let me make sure we have all of our buttons on here right. Let me go ahead and make sure. Okay, it looks like we're not taking the graphics, so let me go ahead. I'll do this manually real quick. I can fix this on my end. So let me go ahead and sometimes this will happen when we're in one of these situations here where we're pretty busy tracking things in the Weather Center. So let me go ahead and see if we can get this up now. Bear with me, I apologize. I think we got it up now. So let me go ahead and we're going to go ahead and come back on here so you guys can go ahead and get a look at what we're going to say. Here's some important information for you guys to break down. It's just a one-man band here, folks. So just kind of bear with me sometimes when we're dealing with some different technical things. But you can see here when there's a hard freeze warning in play, you want to protect people, pets, pipes, plants here. Definitely all important. That hard freeze warning criteria here, as we break it down zone by zone, really we see that it's a little bit harder to obtain in areas that were to get lower, because you really want a hard freeze warning to mean something here and indicate the damage in the low temperatures that could occur here Saturday night, overnight Saturday into Sunday morning. You're talking about temperatures maybe 23 and below in some areas, even out toward the Big Bend, southwest, south central Georgia. I mean, right now it looks like we're going to get close, if not obtain these criteria. So some areas may not quite get to them, so we'll have to see what the Weather Service offices do because we have some forecasted numbers that are really close to these, but definitely getting in that hard freeze territory, which is something that doesn't happen too often. Going back here, could be some coldest air in the morning hours of Sunday in about 4 years or so since we had those extremely cold temperatures there. We had the snow in Tallahassee, things like that. Now, speaking of any type of wintry precipitation, now some of our models last night were hinting at some flurries here trying to come into view, but it looks like here at this point, that's probably going to be on the low side there of things, in that the probability of that occurring looks to be low. We're just not seeing enough moisture come into play, but you never know. We've seen patterns before kind of come together. I know on December 26, 2010, for instance, that kind of rings a bell maybe for some of you guys. We had those flurries around reported. I saw some here east of Stark where I'm at. There were reports of some of those just all around the region there. Pretty intriguing to see. Bradford County, Duval County, you kind of get the idea. I mean, several counties really getting some of that action, but we're now going over toward those forecasted lows for your Sunday morning here. And you can see as we get here toward those early morning hours, we're talking about 23 degrees towards dark. That is cold. And now, I mean, there's rural spots where I'm at, for instance, we could see temperatures closer to like 22 or 21 even. That's not out of the question because you're away from the concrete here. You're able to cool down a little bit quicker here. So that'll be something to kind of watch. And the coolest temperature I've recorded on my Davis Weather Station in a little over a year since I've had it was 22 degrees there right after Christmas in 2020, right after putting that up. In fact, that weekend there, right after that tornado that went through, of course, the area 0100 in Bradford County that crossed back, of course, before then 301 region as well. But you see 24 degrees toward Gainesville here, 25 Palatka, giving you guys an idea here of some of these readings overall. I know we got down to 24 where I'm at Monday morning, expecting cooler than that area at this point. We'll have to see how much, but the duration will be something to be concerned with here. Again, you got to protect those pipes. You also got to practice fire safety. That's important because we have, unfortunately, house fires that can occur here when heating equipment malfunctions or is not used properly. You got to really be careful here because people are trying to stay warm. You're trying to stay warm. And in this situation, you have to be really, really careful because sometimes those methods just go haywire on you. And really need to be careful because we're talking about readings even at the beaches toward that freezing mark, talking about Palm Coast getting down to 29. We don't have freezes at the beaches very often. And speaking of areas there that don't get too cold often, we're talking about 30s maybe in toward areas even of South Florida, around Miami even. It hadn't happened in a while, maybe going back to about 2010 or so, I believe. doing that stat off the top of my head. I believe that's what that is. But I know Orlando expected maybe to have their freeze around that region in Orange County. So got to be really careful here in this situation. But we also have another side of this, the winter storm side here with the actual snow, things like that. Now it's an uncertain forecast, but a low pressure really expected to strengthen here quickly, and that's going to provide, and it depends on the track here, east or west will make a big difference because on the west side of low pressure we're going to get the snow, but you can see here 12 to 18 inches of snow toward Boston there, toward Providence. That's the official forecast as of a little while ago, and you see out toward the east here, you can see out toward areas there around Plymouth, 18 to 24 inches there. Kind of giving you guys an idea of this threat. And then as we move on over toward the Mount Holly area forecast now, you can see here the northwestern extent of the heaviest snow totals remain uncertain as there's going to be a sharp cutoff here. So that could really change things. People around Philadelphia could see more than expected, or we can end up seeing the snow just off the coast here. Really, you see right now the forecast for Atlantic City is 12 to 18 inches. And now you can kind of see something that they put together at National Weather Service offices there. I'm just kind of taking these from the offices verbatim just to kind of give you an idea of the overall scenario here, since it's not something we're going to really focus on too much. But you see here the confidence right now in that moderate range for a significant event, as you see that X there on the screen. So just something to kind of be mindful of. Winter storm watches there for some of these spots. But also, believe it or not, we're talking about cold weather early in the week. But then later in the week here, folks, we're going to be talking about a threat of some stronger storms coming into the picture now, the extent of which is too uncertain to get into. But we're going to see cooler air, warmer air, kind of bumping together, it looks like, in the overall scenario, as we're going to be getting in warmer air, if you can believe it. I mean, this 7-day forecast is something that I don't know if I've ever really seen before in terms of such a contrast from Sunday to Thursday in terms of the temperatures in this part of our area and this part of the country. But you see here toward Mississippi, toward Alabama, toward Tennessee, 3 inches or so. Possible of rain in that general area. Right now it looks like less for us, but it's kind of cuts off here as we get later on in the time frame. So that's something to bear in mind, as well as maybe later Thursday there could be some storms that could be on the stronger side even in our area. So that'll be something to watch. Now Saturday there, college basketball at the Donald R. Tucker Civic Center in Tallahassee, 3 o'clock on ABC, something that doesn't happen too often. The Noles will be taking there on the Hokies, and we're talking about 43 degrees with windy and cold conditions in store here, with the wind chill maybe is around about 36 degrees. I mean, that's not the lowest wind chill. We're talking about maybe wind chills in the teens in some spots Saturday morning, but that is going to be the wind chill as we warm up there on Saturday. 36 degrees, folks. So it's really a day you'll want to bundle up if you're headed out. Luckily, the game's inside. I wouldn't want to imagine how that game would feel to the players if it was outside, but definitely cold, cold, cold. Hopefully, the Noles can get a rebound win there. As we now going over toward that 7-day forecast, you can see here, see those low wind chill values here being forecasted on Saturday. We're going to have to watch for that, as again, those temperatures with the wind really blowing, they're going to feel cold. Sunday's going to be cold, obviously, with the actual air temperatures, but then you see Monday we start to warm up some, Tuesday even more so, and then we started to get above average here later on in the period, folks. I mean, we're talking about 73 on Wednesday, 76 on Thursday here, with a chance of some of those storms coming in the picture up to 50% right now. We'll kind of refine that and give you another update on that on Tuesday, so kind of stay tuned in terms of that. But just kind of stepping on over real quick, you can see that the big contrast here from 24 degrees, folks, there, all the way up to about 76 degrees. That really tells the weather story, my friends. So I think that pretty much does it for you Thursday. We'll keep you updated on that cold weather situation as needed on the different platforms, Facebook, Twitter there, with the information posting. But again, our next one will update will be Tuesday here from the Weather Center. Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. You can also now watch on Twitch. Still trying to see if we get the right quality of video there on that, because making sure everything looks good over there. But that's another option for you as well to watch me on the live stream and on the different live streaming platforms with the latest updates. Have a great night, everybody. Have a great weekend. Stay warm and stay warm safely.